Hi everyone, welcome to my Flostube channel. I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada, and this is Stitching on the Rock. Ooh. Of course, my Vanna skills have not improved in the last 3 videos, so let's try that again. It's episode 26. It's December 1st. Happy December. I'm hoping that I will get this uploaded today. If not, it'll be tomorrow. I haven't been on my schedule, as you know. I'm 3 or 4 days late, but it has been crazy here. A little stressful. I've had a medical thing that I'm still waiting on some results for, so I'm not going to talk about that today. And it just seems like every day there's 2 or 3 things that are going on. Just for example, today, Aaron is off now at lunchtime. It's 12 here. Or just after 12 here. We have parent-teacher interviews this afternoon at 3 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And then my sister and I are going to dancing on this Stars on Ice tonight. So it's, my brain is, ugh. Anyway, welcome. If you want to stay after hearing that. Thank you to my new subscribers. I've got a few recently. I really appreciate you joining me, and if you're watching and haven't subscribed, please do so. I love to know who's there and who's watching. Let's see. Like I said, life has been crazy over the last couple of weeks. Aaron got his report card, the first term report card last week. I won't tell you all his marks, but his average was like 90, so we're like thrilled. The other issues he's had at school, for those of you who are new joining, my son Aaron has ADHD, autism, and OCD. So he has some issues, but you know, he's doing okay. We're one day at a time. Like I said, parent-teacher interviews today. Academically, we have no issues whatsoever. What has been going on? My sister and I went to a craft fair last Saturday. First one I've been to in about 3 years, because of COVID stuff and all of that. I bought a Christmas gift. She bought a dip mix, so you know, we didn't spend a whole lot of money there, but it was nice to be able to get out. And that day, last Saturday, I ran into 2 friends there, and then I went to the mall Christmas shopping and ran into a friend there, so it was a good day. Yeah, I got most of my Christmas shopping done. I keep looking at my notes because there's so much there. All the gifts are bought. I got stocking stuffers for my child. And what do you get a teenage boy? You know, socks, underwear, toothpaste, all the fun stuff. He's not a child to eat like chocolate or candy or anything like that. Very rarely. So you can't stuff the stocking full of that stuff that most kids get in Christmas. Figure it out somehow or another. Yeah. Oh, funniest thing that happened also that Saturday. I did a lot last Saturday. My sister and brother-in-law and I went to supper at Kelsey's. That's a chain here in Canada. For anyone from the States who's not from here, it's kind of a TGI Fridays-ish kind of, you know, family style chain restaurant like they all are. And the food was delicious, but they couldn't get our order right at all. We ordered drinks first. I ordered a regular Pepsi. They both ordered Diet Pepsi. We got 2 regular and a diet, so that was the first mix-up. Then we ordered their spinach dip, which apparently is their best seller. And I have never been to the restaurant before. I don't go out to eat very often. But my sister and brother-in-law are there all the time. They said it was nothing like their spinach dip they normally get. It was really, really dark, and there was one little dollop of cheese in the center, and my sister said usually it's coated in cheese from one end to the other. We actually ended up talking to the owner in the end, and she said, yeah, they had a batch of spinach or something that made it all really dark, but that didn't explain why there was no cheese on ours. And then, well, my brother-in-law, the only thing really wrong with his was that he said no dipping sauce, and they sent out dipping sauce for his fries. And my sister, and I split a large order of wings and an order of sweet potato fries, and we wanted the wings plain, like just breaded wings, and then we each wanted a different dipping sauce, but we wanted them on the side, obviously, because how do you coat in two different dipping sauce? Well, the first time they came out, they were all coated in dipping sauce, and we were like, no, that's not what we ordered. Now, it wasn't the girl who took our order that brought them out. And she said, okay, I'll go in and put the order in again, and I'll be right back. And she said, I'm going to check and see how it was entered. So she came, someone else brought out the order again, and half of them were plain, and half of them were covered in dipping sauce. My sister's, which, I mean, would have been all right. She had hers, but then all her dipping sauce was over, there's no way to separate when they're in the same basket. So we had to get the order. Well, another guy came because the first girl said, I'll get the manager to come over and talk to you. He wasn't the manager that night, but he has managed. And he said, I'll put in the order. You guys start eating those. So I kind of ate half of what I did have the container of my dipping sauce that came out. The dipping sauce she asked for the fries, which came out the first time the order came, she didn't get until we had most of the fries gone. But the girl came back and said it was put in right. It was the kitchen that screwed up, but they screwed up twice. Third time, we finally got the wings the way we wanted them, but of course we didn't want them then. We took them home. And the owner said our table was the only one that had an issue, but the order was put in the computer right. We just didn't get it right twice. Anyway, it all tasted delicious. There was nothing wrong with the food taste, but they just couldn't get the order right. We obviously told the young girl that took her order. She felt so bad, but it wasn't her fault. She did everything right. But yeah, so that's life. It's been a roller coaster over the last couple of weeks. Next up, I'll talk about Flostubers that I've been watching. I finished watching all of Mouse Potato Designs, and I love her Flostube. I linked her last time. I'll link her again if you haven't watched her. Felicia, she's really funny. I really enjoy watching it, and her stitching is amazing. And she adds all these French knots to all the cross stitches, and like the sheep with the French knots on top. Oh my God, don't they ever look woolly and really, really cute? But she really wants me to make me try some, but I might attempt one on a small little design. And I want to give away from her yesterday. Well, whenever I saw it this morning, but she's like in Central, I think, time zone, and I'm in Newfoundland, so I'm like 2.5 hours before her, earlier than her, so she probably posted it last night. And I saw it this morning. And yeah, it's I'm not going to tell you about it because it's a PDF, but she also drew 2 other names, so she's waiting to hear from the other 2 before she contacts the designer and gets her. So that'll something for you to turn. If I can talk, tune into the next video to see. And now I'm watching Stitching the Moon. And she's an American living in Norway, and I'm really enjoying it. About halfway through her videos, and I'll post her link down below, and I will she has a Etsy store, so I'll link that below too. And she does full coverage designs, mostly of pictures of around where she lives in Norway, and they're beautiful. They're big, but they're beautiful. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything that's not stitching or crafting wise. So let's go on to stitching. I have all my Santas done. Well, I have all the stitching done that is up on the designs. I'm adding the ears, and I've got 3 out of the 7 done. For those of you who haven't been around, I got the brilliant idea last month, I guess, about a month or so ago, to stitch ornaments for my son's teachers. I had thought there was 4. They're not like his subject teachers because he hardly spends any time with them, but he has IRT, which when I was growing up, they were called special needs teachers, but whatever, they've evolved to itinerant resource teachers, I think it's called. I think I got that right. And he has a couple of student assistants that help him throughout the day. So I had 2 IRT teachers and 2 assistants, so I had 4 names. He then added 3 more that spend a little bit of time with him each afternoon during the week when the student assistants go on to the special services buses. Now, Aaron was getting the special services bus to school, which he still does, and home. But in order to have it home, he has to leave school 20 minutes before classes end. But Aaron is in all the regular classes, so he's losing 20 minutes of that last class each day. And I said, no, not happening. So I'm picking him up in the afternoons. But between the student assistants go on the special services buses, and they leave, like I said, about 20 minutes early. So then he has 20 minutes where he doesn't have anyone with him. So an IRT comes in and spends that time with him, and it rotates throughout the week. So that's how I ended up with 7 ornaments to do. But they're all done, except they're not fully finished. They're all stitched. So they are all sent by My Fanny Designs on Etsy, which I'll link below. And they are adorable. And I'm going to do them for myself over the next year, but I'm not doing 7 in a month. I'm doing 1 a month. And I should have 12 by the end of the year, because there's 12 in her set of these Santas. She had a couple of others, but they're not exactly the same. But anyway, without further ado, my little shelf over here is stuffed full of stuff, and I have to find them in that. So I have to turn for a minute. It didn't take long. Okay, so I'll show you them all, but I'll show you the last 2 patterns that I did. So I did, the last 2 were this one, which has bunnies with them, and I apologize for the lighting. The weather has been off and on all week. We've had rain and snow and fog, and then in the afternoons we might get a little bit of sunshine, and then it's back to, well, overcast. I suppose it's not always fog, but it's overcast during the day. So I have my lamp on. It's right, you can't see it, but it's shining right in front of my phone, so hopefully it gives you a bit better light than without it. I have my phone on a ring light, and I turn it on, but I have 2 green circles right here when I do, so I don't turn it on. But hopefully you get a decent view of what it is. So it's got bunnies with it, and I left out the 2 little dangling carrots because they don't make sense to me to have dangling carrots. And then all throughout I said I wasn't doing the cat and dog ones, but looking at the 4 I think that was left, no, 4, 6 that's left, I think there's a dozen. They all had a whole lot of white except for the dog one, and I do know one of the teachers has a dog, and oh my gosh, my hair, it's so windy out. I did straighten it down earlier. Anyway, so this is the last one I did, which was the one with the puppy dogs. So it didn't have as much white as the others do, so I picked that one for the last one. I need a break from white. I used almost 3 skeins of B5200 doing these 7 ornaments, and I really, really need a break from white. So no white in my future, at least for right now. So here we go. I'll show them all to you. This was the first one. Now, other than the first one and the last one, the order probably won't be in the correct order when I did them. So this is the Santa wearing the green with the snowman. You can see I put the year in down at the bottom here, 2022. The only thing is I have to figure out, and some of them have space at the bottom where I can put the date, and that's where I wish I could, but some of them are stitched right across at the bottom, so I'm probably going to have to put the date up in the top corners. But like I said, I only have the date on 3 of them. So I have that one, and then let me see if I can figure out which order they went in. I think this is the order. Then did the one with the cardinals, that everyone says he looks like he's wearing his bathrobe. Maybe he is. Maybe he's out for the mail with just got out of bed. Then the one with the owl. See, this is one of the ones where it's stitched all across the bottom. So I'm gonna probably have to put the ear in an odd spot, either up here or here, or I haven't figured out yet. I gotta sit down with someone and say, now where do you think the ear should go? And then I think I did the squirrels next. I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember. So there is the one with the squirrels. He's got one up at his head. And then I did the one with Rudolph. And that's another one that's all stitched across the bottom. And the squirrels too. So I had to figure out where the ears are going to go on those. And then the bunnies. And then the ducks. And they're all done 2/2 on 28 count linen that I got at Michael's, that I then dyed with pearl gray RIT dye. So now they have to be fully finished, which will be done next week probably. So I have at least a week before the last day of classes before Christmas. It's going to, I didn't organize as to where I was going to put stuff when I was done. I don't have a setup for a camera of doing a tutorial of how I finish them, but I may probably do that's good English, do a video, like a little extra video once they're done, and I'll have all my pieces, except of course the stitching, and I'll show you what I did using the pieces, and I'll show you all the finished ones. But like I said, I can't. Maybe next year. I'm not very good at tutorials anyway, because my sister is coming to help me cut all the pieces and that, because I'm not really good with straight. Good for a person that's getting a sewing machine for Christmas is learning how to do things straight. I always said my eyes were crooked. Well, I'm blind as a bat without my glasses, so I'm not surprised that my eyes are crooked. Anyway, enough about me. So I took a little break in between them because I just couldn't do 7 right in a row. So I picked up a couple of my full coverage pieces to work on in between. So the first one I was working on was Pride and Prejudice Color Expansion Quick Stitch. I think I got it all in there. By Amy Stewart for Heaven and Earth Designs. And there it is right there. And it's part of a larger piece of Heroes and Heroines, I think it is, by Amy Stewart. So my goal was to get it to 5%. And I did. I got it to 5.04%. And in total, well, since the last time you saw it, I put in 125 stitches. That's all I needed to get it to 5.04%. But overall, while I've been working on it in between the Santas, I put in 5,742 stitches out of 114,000 out of 114,000. Yeah, even. I have stitched 5,742 since I started, and I always hold it up wrong. I'm doing it diagonally. I'm doing it 1/1 on 28 count ice blue Lugana, and I was stitching the big sections of colors in that one. Well, it's 3 blocks, so it's the center block plus 1 on each side. If you can figure that out. So I was doing the big chunks, and I wanted to get all the way down to the bottom, so I straggled down to the end of the diagonal, and then I went back and started filling in all the ninjas and 2s and 3s, and then I discovered I was off on my little straggle down. So the little straggle at the bottom that you see will probably have to be frogged. But anyway, after all of that, here we are. hold it back so you can see the whole thing. Oops, move my stuff out of the way. So there we are. That's the end of the diagonal right down there. And I'll fold it over and move it in so you can see the detail of what I have filled in. So if you can see at the top, this is the very top corner of the pattern, left corner. And there's a little bit of like skyy, hazy, and a little bit of flower. And then we're into, what are we into? Let me bring my picture up. It's a mess. Welcome to my life. It's just a bit of a tree, this is. And then there's flowers and grapevines. And then you get into a book. And then another book, blue. And then this is Darcy. And the white is Elizabeth. So you can see, right. So I start right here. And I go down. I'm about right here with Elizabeth. It's been so much fun, and I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to keep going on it, but I said no, I need to make some progress on another one of my full coverage because I have about 5 or 6, and they haven't been getting any love in the last couple of months. But I also love the diagonal because, well, you change colors, but you also see, if I had started at the top and went down in columns, it would have been forever before I got over to Darcy and Elizabeth. Whereas with the diagonal, I hit them, you know, really early in the pattern, which is great. So after I got to the 5% on that, and I put it away, I pulled out another one, and I pulled out, get my pattern here, my baggie here. I pulled out Quick Stitch Snowflake Wonder by Lisa Victoria for Heaven and Earth Designs. And this little guy here who is so adorable, and right there. And when I pulled him out, I was at about 6%. So my goal was to get to the 10% mark, which I did. I got to 10.03%. So I stitched 1,642 stitches on this, and that brought me to 4,083 out of, sorry, I can't even read my own writing, 40,725. So I'm at 10 point, and once again, I'm doing it, this one I'm doing 2 over 2 on 28 count ice blue because it's a lot smaller pattern. And here's where I am. So you can see his mouth, which is really, really cool. His snout and his mouth. Let me see. Can you see? Am I holding it up right? So I started this doing the column, and then I went to the diagonal because it's so much fun. So you can see if I hold. Can I do this? So you can see where I am right here, which is really, really cool. So that's so much fun to do because 2 over 2 on the 28 goes so much faster and so much easier. But it is a lot of blue I've been stitching, so it was nice to get into that green and yellow. And so that's that. And other than that, what I've been doing are a couple of little things. My Ornamental Joy, I did not do anything with it on the 24th and 25th because I wanted to get the Santas finished. But it's my focus now. You can see my needle is in it. So this is Ornamental Joy. Sorry. By Country Cottage Needleworks, and it was my kind of Christmas. I was doing it on the 24th and 25th here and there for the last 3 or 4 months, but now I want to finish it for before Christmas, so it shouldn't be that difficult because I'm like pretty good at where I am. So all of the left side is done. All of the ornaments and everything from here. These two are done. The J and the O and the Y are done. I'm working on this ornament. And I have that one. And then I have across the top and across the bottom. And it's done 2/2 on a, I think it was an ivory or an off-white. I can't even remember what it was called. Even weave that I just then dunked in tan red dye and gave it that kind of antique old feel in it. Not a whole lot of finishing space left, but I'm gonna finish it myself on a board or something like that, so I shouldn't need any more than that. And that is on my table now until it's done. And the only other thing I've been working on is my mom, which is my car project when I go to pick up Aaron. And it's the Mom What's in My Cup by the Real Housewives. It's that one. And I haven't really been doing a whole lot with it the last week or so because, like I said, I've been so busy that I'm getting at school like 10 minutes before Aaron comes, and I barely get, 5 minutes to put in a thread, and my needle is there and all of that. So I had the cup done. So I've started on the flowers and the bike, and this is the jar next to the cup that I've started on. And I've been stitching. I've got like 2.5 to 3 rows in it. I think I'm going to change the color of it. It's too light next to the cup. I think I want, this is 927. I think 926 or 924 is darker, so I think I'm going to pull those three rows out and do a darker color, because it's like the mason jar. Yeah, because I'm doing the DMC conversion, and on the picture, like, it's a bright blue, so it doesn't, I don't think it matches the 927. 927, I don't think it matches that color at all. So I'm going to pull it out. I do like the idea of that bluey green color for it, but I'm going to get a different color. So that's what I've been stitching. It's been, here and there and all over the place. So I guess a few things that are stitching related, but not stitching. I've been buying a few things. Some of it's here, some of it's not. So I'll share what came and what I bought digitally. Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that stuff is fun when you cross stitch. Let's see, what else can I... before I get into that, I have another project, a non-stitching project, but a crafting project. I'm knitting. Something I haven't done in 12 or 13 years. When Aaron was a little boy, I knit him a fisherman knit sweater, like the Iran color, whatever, with all the cables and all that fun stuff. And I haven't knit anything since. I just got out of it. I used to when I was like in my early 20s, when all those sweaters were with the patterns and the, like, I did one. I know a picture that I have. I'll see if I can find it and stick it in here. The picture is when my nephews were born, and they're 32 now, I think. I have bought it. So I was 20-ish. Yeah. It was black and white check throughout, and then around here was a row of Scotty dogs, and there was some red, I think, around bows around them. It was really complicated, and I used to do like knit sweaters like that. I don't like plain solid knitting, all knit or all knit and purl. I like to have some pattern or something to keep me interested. So I wanted to knit a blanket for a while, and I've kind of been looking for a pattern, a free one that I could find and that I liked, and I haven't found anything. I've been looking for a couple of months, and then about a month or so ago, one popped up in, I don't know if it was on Facebook or if it was, I don't know where I saw the picture and the pattern. And I'll put a picture of it up here, and it's free, so I'll link the blog down below that if you're interested in knitting patterns. So then I wanted some wool, and I didn't order anything. I just wanted something local. So Michael's had a sale last week or the week before, so I went and I picked up the wool. So I'll grab a bottle of wool. It's down here in a bag. So it's just the Michael's Charisma, and it's in this, what do they call it? They call it Mist. So it's just a pale gray, and it's almost the same color as the walls in my living room and that, so I thought that was nice. Oh, sorry. Down again, because it's on the floor. It's a chunky, like, a throw blanket, and it's knit on a round needle, so I don't know that you will see the pattern very well, because it's all bunched up on a round needle. So it's I've never shown knitting before. So let me see if I can see. Now, figure out which is the front of the blanket and which is this is, I think, this side is different. This is fun, isn't it? I think this is different. So you do 14 rows of garter stitch at the bottom, and then you keep a 9-row garter border on each side, and then the pattern, there's an 8-row pattern that you just repeat until you get to the right length. So I'm not sure you're even going to really see much to the pattern, because I don't know how the lighting is or how to hold it or any of that stuff, but it's fun, and it's something I do in the evenings when I'm down watching TV. So we figured out it's going to take 8 to 10 balls, and I'm on my second one. I'm halfway through the second repeat of the pattern, so I've got a long ways to go. But it's something fun to do in my free time when I'm not stitching. Yeah, so that's that. And then I got a bunch of stuff that I bought, and a pattern I won, and fabric I dyed, and all kinds of fun stuff here. So let's start with, I'm going to start with what I did. No, I'll leave that to the end when I talk about plans. So first, the pattern I won. I told you guys last week that I won a pattern from Helen D on her Flostubers, which is, okay, two wins in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I never win anything. I can't even win $1 on a poll ticket, and now I've won 2 patterns. So that's kind of crazy as far as I'm concerned. So I won, let me get that in the bag here, Teresa Kogut's, for you. So that's what I won. Isn't he cute? No, I was talking about how Mouse Potato Designs was doing, Felicia was doing French knots on her sheep. I think that might be too much for me to handle. Maybe if it was a little one on the side of a pattern, I might be able to do it. But yeah, he's a big one to do all French knots. But she has done them. I don't know if they're about that big, but check out her Instagram. And anything that's a sheep, it's got tons of French knots on it. But he's cute with his little woolly sweater, and which is kind of, I showed it to Aaron's dad. He kind of like, it's a sheep wearing a wool scarf. Okay. So the irony is, yeah. That's what I want. And then, I'll do purchases first. This was my least expensive purchase. I went to Value Village here, and I've told you before that, I found thread there, DMC, but finding craft supplies there is very rare. But there was 4 or 5 magazines, and I went through them, and I found this one, which is cross stitch, Leisure Arts cross stitch from February. It gives the year in here. 1993, volume 7, number 2, and I just loved that. I was looking for some single color patterns, and I just loved that one. I'm not sure about the quote. I wouldn't mind trying to find a different quote. This says, and I can't read it from the cover pattern, I have to go inside because it's really hard to read on the cover. Let me see if I can find it in here. probably every page that I go through except the one I want. Oh, okay, here it is. It says, I knew by the smoke that so gratefully curled above the green elms that a cottage was near. And I said, if there's peace to be found in the world, or a heart that was humble might hope for it here. And it's T. Moore. It doesn't really speak to me. So I might, when I get around to starting this, whenever that will be, change it. I actually thought about Robert Frost stopping in the woods on a winter's night. Is that what it's called? Anyway, those of you who know will know. I probably butchered the title, and I don't know that it would all fit there. But anyway, I really like that one. Bring it in close so you guys can see it. Hopefully, oh, there. I think. Anyway, and then I went. Well, I bought from. Sorry about the crinkling. From Gita's. Edinburgh 36 Silver Moon is called. I'm not going to take it out of the plastic. And I think that's what I'm going to do my Santas on, if you can see it. See if I can move the light down. I don't know if it makes any difference. Oh, it probably makes it worse. But it's very, very pale gray. And it's kind of the color that the models that my Fanny Design has hers on. And she has them on 36 count. And this is my first attempt at 36 count. I also bought another piece that hasn't arrived, for a pattern that hasn't arrived. I don't know how I'll do with 36. I may be getting magnifiers for that, but we'll see. And then I went a little crazy on the weekend. Darlene Dion had 20% off her designs. I think it's 5 of them. Yeah, I love her stuff. Anyway, I've talked about Darlene before, and I will link her Etsy and her Flostubers below. So I bought Sure Signs of Spring, and I have Sure Signs of Summer and Sure Signs of Fall or Autumn as well in my stash, and I'm hoping she's coming out of Sure Signs of Winter soon, because we had our first official snowfall. Oh, that was fun. I don't know if we had that since. I think I had that since. We had that since my last video. Like, I had it. Like, I had the snowfall. We had 5-ish centimeters. And we had the power gone for an hour. And there were all kinds of accidents all around. And 2 days later, it was all gone. Yeah. Not a lot of people had their winter tires on yet. Anyway. And I got All Is Calm. And I got My Friend Walter. And I got 4 Seasons. And this one also comes with an American flag if I have any American viewers that might be interested in it. And then her most recent one, I Heard the Bells, which is all Christmas carols. Now there are a couple there that are not my huge favorites, but I'm not sure if I could reach out with some of mine. It has I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day, O Tannenbaum, Silent Night, Joy to the World, A Away in the Manger, and Oh Come All Ye Faithful. Now I love O Holy Night, and I also love O Little Town of Bethlehem. So I'm not sure if I could change them, or I might try. We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, so I kind of went a little crazy with her patterns, but I love them. And last purchase was a couple of thread from Seashell Stitching. And these are for the pattern that hasn't arrived yet, which I think is going to be my New Year's new start. They're Wood Smoke and Lexington Green. And I will tell you, Canadian shoppers, Seashell Stitching has the cheapest price for these that I have found in Canada. They're $3.75. Everywhere else is $5 something. So if you're looking for some, they're in New Brunswick, and it doesn't take very long to get here, only a few days. And I think that is everything. Oh, I purchased that looked weird. The glass is stretched. I need to get somewhere to get them to fix them, and I keep forgetting. So they're half the time they're down here, but it's because they've stretched. I keep looking. I'm sorry. I keep looking behind me. I should have had my stuff in front of me, but I'm happy I got a video out, and I'm at 40 minutes, which is one of the longest I've had. So I think I only have two more things to show you, or one more thing to two more things to show you, which I'll bring them both over. I'm sorry. And they're both related to plans for next year. So I am taking a page out of Mashed Potato Designs book. When she's changing the way she, I guess, records how she stitches and what she's stitching, that kind of stuff. It's not really a planner, I guess, because it's, for me, it's going to be a stitching journal, but it's on a calendar. So this is how she's kind of done hers. She adds pictures to hers, but this is just a blank calendar, 2023 blank calendar, and I scrapbook, so I kind of decorated the top and the bottom a bit, and then I put in a list of goals for January, of things I want to do for January. And I'm not, she has planned out her stitching for the whole year. I'm like, I barely know what I'm having for supper today, so I can't do that. I'm doing it month by month. So it's only a couple of things I have planned, actually. It's mostly working on whips and a couple of new starts. I want a new year, new start, and it's on its way. Hopefully it'll get here in the next week or two. I had to order from 123 Stitch because I couldn't find I could have ordered from a store here in Canada, and I did order it, and then they came back and said, yeah, the pattern's not in stock. That'll take 3 to 4 weeks. And, oh, the fabric you want? No, that'll take 5 months. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Goodbye. I don't understand why stores can't simply put out of stock on their websites. Like, I have nowhere local, and I'm trying not to turn this into a rant, and I don't want to name the store because it is what it is. But a simple out of stock would have made me not order from them. And so I didn't get the same fabric, but I got a fabric that I'm going to try and add some dye to make it similar to what the model is stitched on. And the pattern I had to order from the States, which I don't want to do. I emailed 2 or 3 other stores, say, do you have these in stock? Do you have this in stock? Do you have this in stock? And it's a series, and they had 2 or 3, but not the one I wanted to start with. I could have got another one, but it was almost all white. And I said, no, I don't want to do that right now. I'll leave that till the end of the year. So anyway, hopefully my new year, new start will be here before Christmas, and I will attempt the dyeing part, and hopefully it will work. That's my other 36 count, so that'll be fun. And then I'm going to start the one of the Santas, the My Fanny design Santas that I have, and then I wanted to work on a monthly thing. Like, I've seen tons of them, and there's lots of really nice ones out there, but a lot of them have the July as the US Independence Day designs, and a lot of them have November as Thanksgiving type, and neither one of those work for me. So I had seen these in passing online, and so I went looking for them again, and it's the Snowflake Diaries, and it was Joyful World. It was a sale a few years ago, and so they're all free. They're all online. You can find them if you want to, and I can link to her. That I had to go looking for a couple of them. A couple of them I couldn't find on her blog, so I had to go looking somewhere else. So I'm gonna do the January one. I'm trying to. I know that it's a free design, so if it shows, but this is they all have animals in the designs, so that's January. So that one I'm going to be starting in January, and I didn't have any fabric that worked, and I didn't really want to order a fabric for a free one, so I went through my stash of fabric, and a lot of it I've had for, I'd say 15 years or so, and I wasn't stitching much, and some of it is stuff that I wouldn't be planning to stitch on. So I found this, which is 28 count goldenrod, Zweigart. This is Zweigart. I'll say that 10 times. Let's see if I can get it right. I told someone, Stephanie, I think it was, said, oh, I wish that, I could dye fabric like other people do. And I say I throw it all in a bottle and cross my fingers, and that's what I did. I have a jar. It's about that big that I got at dollar store with a lid thing, latch lid, and I boil a kettle of water and I fill it up 3/4 of the way full. I threw in half a cup of pearl gray and a half a cup of tan, swish it around, cut off a piece of fabric, stuff it down, and wait 10 minutes. And then I pulled it up, and it didn't look like anything had happened. So I got my dyes and I threw in another little dribble of each one, swished it around, left it for another 15 minutes, and it came out like this. And it's perfect for January. Now, what I'm going to do for February, March, and all the other months, I have no idea. But there we go. And so those are my so work on this, do my New Year, New Start, and work on some. I have the goal of finishing one of my heids, and we will see what happens. Who knows? I may finish it, I may not. Anyway, that's if you're still here almost 50 minutes later, that's pretty much everything I've got to say today. If that isn't enough, let me know. Anyway, subscribe, like, leave a comment, ask questions, whether they're about stitching or me or whatever. I love having questions and comments. See you in a couple weeks.